Hello, hello. We are live right now, making sure people are on. We do have a few people on, even at this hour, this late at night. I know it's pretty late, but just had to hop on really quickly, guys, to cover the latest with what's going on with stimulus, because we do have a brand new update for you guys. Make a little comment in the chat here. If you're first joining us, make sure you do give this video a big thumbs up if you are first hopping on this live. Okay, YouTube algorithm is kicking in. We got some people joining on. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat down below. Let me know where you are coming from. Make sure you can hear me. Okay, we got a few likes there. People are awake, people are active. Hello, Lena. Nice to have you on this evening. Very good, very good. So we will hop right into it, get started. So, what is latest with stimulus? Well, major announcement from the Biden administration in the last 24 hours, and that is now that some stimulus provision is going to be extended until 2022. That is correct. It is going to be extended through 2022. So, what provision is this? Well, we'll get started, but make sure that you do go ahead and smash the like button. Make sure that you do that for the YouTube algorithm. Want to do that, we could get started. Very good. So, what is latest? Well, the Education Department announced just Friday, yesterday, that it would continue a moratorium on federal student loan payments through January 31st, extending them through 2022 and extending the emergency relief for millions of borrowers that had been set to expire next month. It was set to expire along with unemployment. The eviction moratorium was supposed to expire. We're seeing all these extensions now of stimulus out of nowhere, and this is huge news. The department said that this would be the quote final extension of the pause, which the Trump administration first instituted in March 2020. But we heard that same thing. We heard that about the eviction moratorium. That would be the final extension, but yet there was a minor form of extension just recently. So you just never know. And with the Democrats trying to push Biden to get Biden to cancel student debt, potentially they'll be in trouble with the midterms and even the 2024 election. That's what the Democrats want to get done. This is sort of their way of buying time and having more time to press President Biden to get that student loan forgiveness done in a widespread manner. And the outset of the coronavirus pandemic is when it started, and the additional time would allow the agency to transition borrowers back into repayment and reduce the risk of default and delinquency. More than 40 million borrowers have federally held loans, and during the moratorium, they have been interest free and not subject to repayment or penalties for non payment. So, students with these federally backed student loans have not had to pay them back at all and haven't had to pay back any interest, and there won't be any penalties for when it does restart. According to Miguel Cardona, who is the education secretary under the Biden administration, quote, the payment pause has been a lifeline that allowed millions of Americans to focus on their families, health, and finances instead of student loans during the national emergency. As our nation's economy continues to recover from a deep hole, this final extension will give students and borrowers the time they need, and they plan to resume payments with no problems, according to the Biden administration. This is why the administration will be in trouble if they don't try to push forward student loan forgiveness, because this is going to come around and really bite people back. Several Democratic leaders in Congress have already pressed the Biden administration over the summer to continue the student loan pause, saying that the fast approaching expiration was ill timed, considering that millions were still suffering financial hardship from the pandemic, especially young people that have these student loans. And according to the heads of the Senate and House Education Committees, Senator Pat Murray of Washington and Representative Robert C. Scott of Virginia, they wrote in a June letter, quote, since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, millions of Americans have struggled to keep a roof over their heads, pay bills, and put food on the table. They wanted to say in the letter, while the economy has begun to show promising signs of recovery, more than 9 million Americans remain out of work, and the economic and health disparities created by the pandemic are severe. They also wrote that the pause had helped borrowers to cover essential expenses during the pandemic and during ongoing recovery efforts. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York estimated that the pause had saved borrowers $7 billion per month in payments during the pandemic, according to the letter from Ms. Murray and Mr. Scott. And the Education Department estimated that borrowers saved about $5 billion per month on loan interest alone. Hello, Bandits Bud, coming from Texas. Good to have you on. How have you been? Good to have on this live. Senator Richard M. Burr of North Carolina, who is the top Republican on the Senate Education Committee and co-wrote a June letter opposing an extension, said that there was, quote, no rational excuse for another extension, which he said would cost an estimated $20 billion on top of the $76 billion already spent. Burr said, quote, as vaccination rates continue to increase, Americans are returning to work and returning to their normal daily lives. Student loan repayments should resume as well. So that is overall the sentiment from the Republican side. Republicans want to have these payments continue, no more extensions, the same way they feel about the eviction moratorium, same way they feel, yes, this is just a little temporary studio right now. This is this little live studio. Surely we still have our regular studio for our regularly scheduled programming. Bandits Bud, thank you for noticing that. Don't worry, this is not what it's going to look like for now on. This is just for right now for this particular live. No worries though. We still have my beautiful studio, $2,000 studio right next to me. So that's overall, like I was saying, the sentiment from the Republican side is that they don't want the moratoriums to continue. They don't want the payment pauses to continue. They want to go back to normal. They want to have students pay their bills, pay their loans. They want the eviction moratorium to end finally, and they want unemployment to stop. That's why more than half of the US states, mostly Republican, have ended the unemployment benefits early, the supplemental unemployment benefits, whereas Democrats, the complete opposite. They want the moratoriums to continue. They want the student loan payment pauses to continue, and they want unemployment to continue for as long as they'd like. Now we're pushing into 2022 with this student loan forgiveness. It makes you wonder, at what point do we cross the line? At what point is it enough? At what point does it push the needle? Quite interesting how this is playing out and how we could just keep extending this stimulus on and on forever and ever. And that's why you see these calls now permanent stimulus. That's why you had that proposal from Ilhan Omar for the guaranteed monthly UBI that we just covered in the last video. If you didn't see that yet, the link will be down below in the description. But it just makes you wonder, when is it going to end? What is considered enough? And when do we cross the line? These are the questions that we just keep asking ourselves every day with this stimulus news happening on the daily now. It's really picking up, and you see all these calls from congressional leaders and lawmakers on even more stimulus, even more continuation of pandemic era programs. They just don't stop. So, what are your thoughts on this student loan forgiveness extension? Do you believe it's correct? Do you believe we should have it? Or should students go ahead and start paying back their student loans right away and we should not have this? Do you believe we should have debt forgiveness? Do you believe that that should be something on the table still? Or is that out of the question? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. Hello, Melissa. She's first joining us right here. Good to have you on our live. We were covering the student loan payment extension from. Hello, Arlene. Well, we're covering the student loan payment extension right now, particularly. That's what we're covering in this update. We also covered the eviction moratorium. We have covered the recent proposal. If you didn't catch that, the recent proposal from Ilhan Omar, that link will be down below in the description of this video. And we'll certainly have more updates to come in the coming days and weeks. So do stay tuned. More updates are to come. Again, if you did enjoy this video, if you did enjoy this live, I appreciate you guys hopping on. Give this video a big thumbs up. I would appreciate that. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Click that big red button and the notification bell as well. I'd appreciate that. Just let you know when we do upload a brand new video. And if you want to get some free stocks, all in me, all free, use those links down below in the description. When you sign up with Robinhood and or Webull, you actually get some free stocks, some valued up to thousands of dollars in some cases. So let me know what stocks you do get. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care for now.